Hello, all you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of the Orb. Tonight we're on X Point's 50 semifinals, the 50th monthly tournament in a row. On our left, we have Oliver representing Western United States, and on our right, we have Rob representing Canada. Should be an epic battle. Can't wait to watch. Let's go take a look at the deck photos. And here's a look at Oliver's monthly deck. He calls it Control. It's a Grixis control deck. Red, blue, and black. His points, he's got one Ancestral Recall, a Recall, 2 Maze of Ith, and 1 Mana Drain in the main board. And he's got his last point, 1 more Maze of Ith in the sideboard. Other than that, he is packing 6 counter spells. He opts to use a Fountain of Youth, which I love there, just for some slow life gain. His win condition are 4 Sedge Trolls, 4 of those big body Darelors, 1 Shivan Dragon. He does have a couple Fireballs and a playset of Lightning Bolts. Icy Manipulators disrupt his opponent. 1 book to draw extra cards. I do love the control magics are so epic in X Points. It's just so creature heavy. Go steal a creature, and then, it kind of forces your opponent to waste cards on dealing with that control magic or dealing with that your own creature coming in after you. His sideboard does have 1 more Fountain of Youth in case he needs to gain some life, an extra Shatter in there, 3 Narrow Nivel's Disc, a couple Earthquakes, 3 Terrors, and then red and blue Elemental Blasts. Well-rounded deck. Obviously, he's done very well with it, as he's in the top 4 as we speak. Now let's take a look at his opponent's deck. And here we go with a look at Rob's deck. Mono Brown. There's no colors in here. I've nicknamed this deck before. I believe it's more aptly named the Thunderous Undergod of Recreational Disaster. I think that's an appropriate title for it. It is mono brown, and he does create nothing but disaster with it. His points are tied up in the 4 Mishra's Factories and 4 Mishra's Workshops. Workshops is so powerful, especially when you have nothing but artifacts to cast. I mean, yeah, he can't use the Workshop on his rocket launcher, and he can't use the Workshop on the Candlestick once it's in play. Or to activate the Icy Manipulator. But really, other than that, he's just sticking out big, wide bodies immediately with those Workshops. Factories are so good because, well, they're just awesome. He does have the Tronland package and then a playset of Deserts in there. He wants to speed up card draw with Howling Mines. He's got Relic Barriers to shut it back down. He can shut off Winter Orb too. And then, yeah, look at those creatures. Just the tremendous robot package. 4 Juggernauts, 4 Suchis, 4 Triskelions. In his board, he's got 4 Clay Statues in case he needs Regenerators, 3 Obsidious Golems, 3 Disrupting Scepters, 2 more Rocket Launchers. His last 2 points are in the 2 Maze of Iths in the sideboard. And then he also has 2 Diamond Valleys in case he needs to gain some life. So, another well-rounded mono brown deck. I think I've said enough. Let's get off to the games. Rob won the Who Can Eat the Biggest Pile of Poutine and Still Play Old School, so Hugh will be on the play. Both decided if they're going to keep their hand. They do. There's that Mishra's Workshop, turn number 1. Rob drops himself down to 19 from a point of mana burn, but he fires out a Howling Mine, giving Oliver immediate card advantage. He draws up to 9 and fires down an island. He has to discard a card. Just the right amount of glare. We will never know what that card is. And look at this second Workshop. This is a little disgusting. That's the downside of Workshops. They can produce turn 2 Triskelions here in X Points, but Rob plays out a Suchi and another Howling Mine, so each opponent's now essentially getting an Ancestral Recall in their draw phase. Oliver's deck's quite slow and a little more reactive. He finds another island, discards more unknown cards. And his third discarded card is one more island. Rob rips 3 from the top. Black Vice is detrimental here at this point. Guess I need to go out and get some workshops of my own. First combat damage in. Oliver drops down to 16. Rob does find an Urza's Tower, so turn 3 here he can produce 7 mana. He's got a full grip of cards plus some. Yeah, there's a Black Vice. That's going to be detrimental. And Oliver with an immediate counterspell.
Nope.
Yeah, Rob's still got 2 floating. Looks like he taps his other Mishra's Workshop and his tower. He's got 6 mana, and there it is. Triskelion. So second 4/4 body down. Rob passes to Oliver. Oliver's taking his third turn. He's got 2 big creatures he's got to deal with immediately. He finds a Badlands. Oliver firing down 5 of his points. That Ancestral rips 3 cards from the top. He needs answers, and he needs them fast. He has something like 11 cards in hand. Hopefully he does have something that he can kind of settle the score with Rob here. Oh no, unfortunately not. He's going to discard some cards. First card he discards a Fireball. Some other random card that we will never know what it is. Unfortunately, Oliver spent most of his time just discarding cards between those Howling Mines and this Ancestral. He has gone through a fair bit of his deck, though. Rob ripping 3 new cards on his draw. Tapping all his mana sources for good luck. Finds one more land starting with the word Mishra's. This time it's a factory. Cracking in for 8. Oliver takes all 8 to the face and drops down to 8 life. Oh, brutal. Here comes Rob again with one more Black Vice. This one resolves. And Triskelion number 9 has hit the board. Oliver's packing his things in. He's seen enough of this mess. So, game number 1 goes to Rob. In quick fashion, we just got to see 3 lands from Oliver, and that was it. He didn't make it to his, I guess he would have made it to his 4th upkeep, but that's game number 1. These 2 will swap out some cards, and we'll move on to game number 2. And here we go with game number 2. Oliver's going to be on the play. Rob's robots delivered a decisive victory game number 1. Oliver does take a mulligan. He's going to start with 6, fires out an island, and just a pass. Rob playing out a Black Vice. Not quite a big a deal. So Oliver only has 5 in hand. He takes 1 point of damage from the Black Vice, drops another island, and passes back to Rob. Rob plays out a Mishra's Workshop. I hear that's a pretty good card. Lays down a Candlestick. Still has 2 floating colorless mana. Untaps the Workshop. Wow, talk about use and abuse that Workshop. He's got 5 colorless mana. Here comes a Howling Mine. Another Howling Mine. Wow, those pair real well with that Black Vice. Rob takes 1 point of mana burn. They're both down to 19. But Oliver is going to take some damage from Black Vice. Drops to 18, draws 3 cards, and plays out a Sedge Troll. Yeah, back to 3 cards a turn. That is tough. Oliver needs to find a second red source and a Shatterstorm. Looks like Rob plays out a Urza's Mine. Pointing to his Tron lands. Yeah, not a good sign when your opponent's adding things up. Yeah, Workshop's getting used, then untapped with the Candlestick. Rob's up to 6 mana. Make that 7. Plays down a Juggernaut. Wow, and a Disrupting Scepter. Disrupting Scepter... I don't know. It's kind of backwards to be used with the Black Vice. Yeah, there's another Badlands for Oliver. And that Sedge Troll is going to be a heck of a blocker for Juggernaut. Oliver's going to need to leave 1 black open. Oliver is on 16 from that Black Vice damage. He's got so many artifacts to deal with here. Looks like Oliver's gonna tap for play out a Daralore. He still has about 19 cards in his hand from those Howling Mines. And by 19, I mean exactly 7. Rob rips 3 new cards from the top. The only bad thing about casting that Daralore is now that Sedge Troll's unprotected. I guess good news for Oliver is really Rob lacks direct damage minus those rocket launchers. So Rob smacks down Urza's Tower. Rob's tapping his Workshop. Yeah, tapping up his Tron lands. He's got a total of 10 mana, 3 from the Workshop, 7 from the Tron lands. Using, a bunch of it to untap all of his lands. Still got 6 total mana floating. Now everything's untapped again. This is getting a little outrageous. Four mana for an Icy Manipulator. Oh, another Black Vice is coming out. These artifacts are meshing so well together. I mean, it feels like Rob's like 2 million miles ahead of Oliver, unfortunately. And Sedge Troll gets tapped down. Here comes the Jugs. Oliver's trading Daralore for Juggernaut. And at this point, with 2 Black Vices on board and 2 Howling Mines, kind of feel like it's only a matter of time. And Rob just passes back to Oliver. He's going to take a bunch of Black Vice damage. He drops down to 10 life. Rob's still sitting pretty on 19. Oliver's deciding which of his 10 cards he wants to use. Decides to play out an underground C. And look at this, casting an icy manipulator of his own. Here comes Sedge Troll in for 3. First combat damage that Rob's experienced drops him down to 16 life. Oliver discarding a card. And back to Rob's turn. Ooh, look at this. Oliver shutting down one of the Howling Mines. Only going to let Rob draw 2 cards. Probably a pretty good idea. I mean, Rob's pretty well at unlimited mana anyways. With that Candlestick in play, he can just tap like an Urza's Mine, even if Oliver did tap down the Workshop and just untap the 2 lands. Rob does find one more pointed card. It is his Mishra's Factory. Plays that out again. Ooh, look at this. Rob using his Icy Manipulator to shut off the other Howling Mine. Oliver does still have 7 in hand. See if he has any instants to play. Oliver tapping an island. Oh, look at this Ancestral Recall, and he points to Rob. It's kind of like a 5-point deck versus a 15-point deck here. I mean, he does get a card out of his hand. Black Vices check and only deal 4 damage, so Oliver drops down to 6. Rob's still on 16. Oliver taps 4 more, drops down a Daralore, so another threat's hit the board. Sedge Troll cracking in for another 3. Rob drops down to 13. And Oliver passes back to Rob. So it looks like Oliver's going to tap something down with the Icy Manipulator. Rob responding by tapping a bunch of his own stuff. Using an Icy of his own, he's activating Disrupting Scepter. Floating a bunch of mana, using 4 of it to untap his 4 lands. Looks like he's still got 1 floating. Doesn't really matter where he puts it. He can put it right in the factory. Yeah, that's where he's going to use it. And now he's going to get 3 cards off the top. Plays out another tower. Second Candlestick. Wow. The Tron math's going to be through the roof here. Looks like that's 9 mana right there. He still has 2 floating off the... Oh, I'm sorry, 10. Still has 2 floating off of his Mishra's Workshop, so he has a total of 12 mana in his mana pool. Tapping the factory. Gonna untap everything. Here comes the Triskelion. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be game. So congratulations to Rob. He'll be moving on to the finals. Good work, Oliver, making top 4. And as always, thanks for watching the Orb.